Well, Dwight Howard went to go play in Taiwan, and he was trolling, NBA players to come join him. But now he wants to go back to the NBA. Do you see that happening?
No.
Why is that?
Being when I was dancing and then even when I was on the show, you run in certain circles and you hear certain things. And I think as a collective, I don't believe that they really F with him.
I mean, but he's still relatively young. He's still in good shape. He can still play. And I mean, it's not like an NBA team could turn you down just because you're gay or bisexual.
Correct.
At the end of the day, they can get sued for that type of thing. That's discrimination.
Right.
You shouldn't turn down someone just because of their sexual preference.
Absolutely.
But do you think that all this drama and all this kiddie stuff is creating a situation where teams just don't want him?
I think it's just the drama in general. Like, you're talking about a billion-dollar industry, and you're talking about someone that is bringing all this drama into it that has absolutely nothing to do with basketball. And it's not, even on the level of, hey, okay, you have Travis Kelce, and he's dating Taylor Swift, where everybody's loving that in the NFL. We don't have that with the NBA. You know what I mean? So I think it's something that I feel just kind of want to steer away from, and not because of his preference or anything like that. I just think because of his past and, when it comes to him being a teammate, like several players have come out and said that he's not a good teammate, so if you don't work well, doesn't matter how good you are, if you don't work well with others, then you probably don't fit that puzzle. It's almost trying to fit like a corner piece in the middle. No. Mm.
Well, recently we had the whole Cassie and Diddy situation. Mm-hmm. Cassie filed a $30 million lawsuit claiming that Diddy abused her, raped her, got her on drugs, hired men that he could watch have sex with her, allegedly blew up Kid Cudi's car. I mean, the story was really wild. Mm-hmm. And in all my years of reporting the news now, 15 years or so, I have never seen a settlement come that quickly. It was like filed, Diddy's lawyer completely denied it, and then it was settled like a few hours later.
Yeah.
And then Diddy's lawyer denied it again, of course. Said, we're just settling because doesn't mean that he's actually guilty. As someone that's been through physical abuse and a bad relationship, what's your take on this whole situation?
So again, I can't speak on their situation because I was not there. The only thing I can say is even when people talk about a settlement and money is involved, I think people think that that's a Band-Aid. I think people think that that's part of healing. And, yeah, money helps, but it doesn't take away from what that person went through and what that person felt. And you can't tell someone how to grieve. You can't tell someone how to deal with what they've been through. And none of us know for a fact, what happened unless you were there. So for them to settle in the way that they did, it was something that obviously she agreed to, he agreed to. And I think now it's time for people to just keep it pushing, because if she's okay with it, then let's keep it moving.
I mean, have you ever considered doing a similar type of lawsuit?
I have.
Okay. And what happened with that?
I'm still considering it.
Still considering it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because, I mean, when it comes to this type of thing in civil lawsuits, the statute of limitations doesn't really even apply. I mean, you've seen that in the whole Bill Cosby situation where women are coming forward from like the 60s and 70s, claiming something happened a long time ago. And it's one of those things, you're right, we don't know. Could Cassie have been abused? Yes. Is this a money grab? Possibly. Yes. Both could be true at the same time, right? Because she ended up getting married to like a personal trainer, and obviously the money is not going to be the same as dating someone like a Diddy. But then those things could have actually happened, and she could have been justifiable in filing that lawsuit. So it's one of those things where a lot of times it almost turns into a battle of the sexes, All the women are like, girl, go get that money. And men are all like, oh, she's just a gold digger. And, it turns into a situation where it just plays out in a very ugly manner.
And like I said, I think people look at money as being like, okay, just because there's a settlement, it doesn't mean that there's healing. And we don't know exactly how she's dealing with it emotionally, mentally, even physically. So whatever happened to her, whatever she feels happened to her, and however it has affected her in her new relationship and in her life, I don't think money is going to just make that go away. But I do think that, it might be a little patch, because it can help her get as much therapy as she needs. It can help her, kind of even get back the life that maybe she had and had to walk away from because she was so broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know.
Right.
And, it's one of those things also where I think there was a legitimate threat of a criminal case that was probably looming. And by paying this person off, you technically can't stop them from cooperating in a criminal case. But if you give them a certain amount of money, they're less likely to go after you criminally. Although it could still happen. You know what I'm saying? And the civil settlement or whatever else doesn't matter because you've seen in the Bill Cosby case, the woman accepted a civil settlement from Bill and then years later came back and testified against him, which ultimately put him in prison. But because there was a deal that was struck, he ended up getting out on appeal. But still, he had to go through that whole situation. So you don't know. We don't know. We'll never know.
Right.
It just is what it is at this point. So what's next for you?
Well, right now I'm coaching. I'm coaching at BCU, Bad Cats cheer, and I love it. I definitely want to pursue, doing movies and, shows again. I definitely miss performing myself. I definitely miss just filming like TV shows and filming movies. I definitely miss that. So I want to get back into that, but I don't want to stop coaching because it's something I love to do. I've always enjoyed working with kids. I think I'm going to do it probably until, I don't know. I don't even know if I will retire, but yeah, I love it. That's the part that brings me joy. So, but I also know that I miss being there as well. So.
Well, Royce Reed, I appreciate you coming in and sharing your story. It's always tough. Relationships are tough. Parenting is tough. But to have it plastered all over social media and TV and being connected to a major sports figure and having your son have to deal with all this, that makes it 100 times harder.
It does.
This is why I've always kept my relationships very private. I've not done reality TV. I don't even really post anything when it comes to personal stuff. But you made the decision, number one, to have a child with someone that you knew was an extreme public figure, but then to do Basketball Wives to open yourself up even more because lots of celebrities have kids with women and it's relatively quiet. You chose to do a show that would highlight that. So ultimately, you've had to deal with everything that comes with that. And I know it's been tough. Yeah. And, you have to be a strong person to get through it. And I can see the strength that you have. And, I wish you all the best moving forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, hope to see great things from you. Congratulations. It seems like the cheer thing, was sort of a continuous thing that I've seen throughout this whole story. From you being a little girl to high school to college to doing it at the highest level for 2 NBA teams to now doing it as your full-time career. So regardless of what happens outside of that, and a lot happens in life, it seems like that's kept you going the whole time. And I could really see the passion when you do it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Wish you all the best.
You
Peace.
too. Bye.